Peace will fill the world when we finally understand that only from within can it be spread throughout the land. Every single person living peace in what we do, only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.
Good morning, friends. I'm Leona Evans, minister at Unity of San Luis Obispo, an inclusive, progressive, spiritual community affirming the good in all life. Happy Father's Day, happy day after Juneteenth, and happy Pride Month. There is so much to celebrate on this day, and we have some wonderful news in addition to that. So, let's take a moment to relax and to prepare for our service today. Special music, special talk, special meditation, and a time for each of us to truly appreciate that we are expressions of the one presence, the one power of absolute good and unconditional love. It's that presence that we call God. So, take a deep breath and relax. Make sure your muscles are relaxed and you're free of tension and stress. What a wonderful opportunity this is to nurture ourselves, to listen to ideas that spark the life and the love and the creativity inside each of us. A special day of celebration. So once again, let's take another deep breath and relax, become focused, and let us affirm together, I am now open and receptive to the living Spirit of truth. Once again, I am now open and receptive to the living Spirit of truth. And so it is. Amen. Let's begin our service with a wonderful joy song by Matthew J. Evans.
Good morning. Today we're going to sing The Greatest Thing. Please sing along with the lyrics on the bottom of the screen. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. I want to know you more. I want to know you more. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. I want to love you more. I want to love you. The greatest thing in all my life is loving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. I want to serve you more. I want to serve you more. The greatest thing in all my life is serving you. Have a great morning, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That was beautifully done. The greatest thing in all my life is knowing you, loving you, and serving you. And who do we mean when we make those affirmations? It's to the presence of Spirit. And where is that presence? Everywhere. Everywhere present. We celebrate the immanence of God, not just the transcendence, not talking about a being far away in a place called heaven, but understanding that heaven is a state of consciousness. And when we bring down our lofty, faraway concepts of a God out there, we realize that God is here in every breath we take, in every life we see, every time we generate the experience of love. It is knowing, loving, and serving God, the Lord of our being, the divine I am, the Christ. By any other name, it is the presence of God. And so we have this glorious opportunity as we sing these joy songs, as we call them, to use those affirmations to remember to see God in every face, to know that God life has and is being breathed into all humanity, all nature. God is. God is within us and within all. So, today, let's begin our celebration. As I mentioned before, we're going to do Father's Day and Juneteenth, and we're going to add that special surprise that I have for you as well. Let's begin by talking about Father's Day. Today is our opportunity to formally acknowledge all of the male figures or the father figures in our lives. In Unity, we understand that not only are we talking about males that represent fathers or mentoring figures to us, but the strength and the power and the assertiveness to let our light shine and to be co-creators in this great opportunity called fulfillment, fulfilling our divine ideals, to participate in this creative process, to have the confidence and the strength to do something about our dreams. So, yes, we refer to that as the Father within us, the motivating, transforming movement of spirit out into the world to bring the principles that we hold in consciousness into manifestation. But speaking of the individuals who have empowered us, another one of the beautiful aspects of life as we see it is that life is always creating. God/life is always creating, always present. Life is eternal, and it manifests in so many forms and ways. And so, if in fact we believe that we never had an opportunity to experience the empowerment, the nurturing figure that would have been our Father, we know that as we look around and search for such a figure, one will appear in our lives. There is no lack anywhere in the universe, and even if we never had a father, even if we had a father who turned out to be abusive, that was not something we deserved. We deserve the best that life has to offer. And there is incredible power in this father image, the ability to give us strength. Again, as we celebrate Mother's Day, we honor the softness and the nurturing quality of love. But today we are honoring the movement into life, to recognize that not only do we have the power to experience life to the fullest, but we have the confidence. We know that we're good enough. Those ideals represent the power, the motivating power of the Father within us. So, as I've said, no matter how we experienced our own father or male figures in our lives, no matter what we have felt we've lacked, I'd like to ask us to take a moment right now to realize that there have been those motivating mentors in our lives, not necessarily a biological or adopted father, but someone who has served that purpose. Let's just take a moment to think back at some of the ways that we might not have expected or even noticed at the time, where a male figure looked into our eyes and helped us remember who we really are. Now, it's possible that as some of us look back, we can't find such a figure. So maybe we need to look to a woman who had the strength and power, who had that assertiveness, who had that joy in living that enabled us to feel that within ourselves. Let's not limit ourselves to gender. Let's just know that life gives us opportunities all the time to feel the presence, to be nurtured, to be supported, to know that there is an overcoming power within us, that Father presence, that we can call upon and that we can see manifested in our lives in the various people with whom we come in contact. We'll have a moment later during our meditation to be able to honor those figures, whether it was a father, whether it was an uncle, whether it was a cousin, whether it was someone on television, whether it was someone you met in a random set of circumstances, male or female. Please know that everywhere we look, if we look closely enough, we can find someone to affirm who we are and to empower us with the confidence we need to manifest our highest good. I ran across such a situation today I'd like to share with you. And it involved Dr. Phil, who, of course, has been a famous presence in TV for decades. During his show, he counsels people who are involved in all kinds of situations, and he helps them understand what a healthy alternative would look like. And I watched a show that was a few years old today. I was very interested in it because it showed a situation in which the stepfather of this family was harassing his stepdaughter, who was at that time about 12 or 13 years old. He had been married to her mother for about 10 years, and during that time, He never let up in letting her know that she did not meet his expectations, that she was not disciplined enough, that she was not contributing enough to the household, that she was turning her mother, his wife, against him, and that she was in every way disrespectful. Dr. Phil listened to all of the parties. He listened to the girl's mother saying, I just don't know how long I can take this. My daughter comes first, and I don't want to have to choose between them. I want something to resolve itself so that my daughter doesn't feel harassed or less than whole. Of course, the stepfather defended himself. Nobody should make me put up with that kind of insolence and disobedience. I deserve better, and there is no peace in the household because that girl is spoiled by her mother, and she gets things from her she doesn't deserve, and she will not obey me. When Dr. Phil spoke to the young girl herself, he asked her how she experienced life at home. And she said sometimes she lies awake at 2:00 in the morning wishing she were dead because there is no verification, no validity in her life from her stepfather. She could never be good enough. She was always blamed for starting all the arguments at home, and she never really felt that anything she could do was really right. And furthermore, that he was talking about tasks that she was to perform in the house that were not really worthy of such a strong judgment. Taking out the trash the minute she was told to do so rather than 5 minutes or half an hour later. Those kinds of things. Dr. Phil asked her whether she attended school regularly. She said yes. He asked her what kind of grades she got. She got all A's. In fact, she was in a gifted program and had received a full scholarship. He asked her if she ever took drugs or if she ever sent inappropriate pictures through the internet. All of those questions that one might expect from an errant adolescent teenager. She had not done any of those things. And so he turned to the stepfather and he said, you need help. You are abusing, verbally, mentally, emotionally abusing your stepdaughter, and I advise that she not spend another night in this family unit. He also turned to the mother and he said she was guilty of neglect because of the fact that she allowed this to take place over such a period of time. Finally, at the end of the show, after the credits rolled, and after Dr. Phil had offered treatment to both the mother and the father, he spent some time alone with the daughter. And this is how, in my opinion, he gave her the ultimate Father's Day present. He looked at her deeply and he said, don't ever let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. You are good enough. You are strong enough. You are wise enough. You are deserving enough to experience life to the fullest. You are deserving of everything wonderful. You are a good girl, a good person. And I want you to remember that, and don't ever, ever let me hear that you thought that ending your life was a good idea. It's not. The world needs you. And I want you to celebrate that. Promise? And of course she was in tears and she nodded yes. And the credits finished rolling, and I thought, what a Father's Day gift. Here was a child who never got that nurturing. But the universe supported her. The universe supplied her with what she needed to reinforce an image of herself that was just beginning to grow. And her mother will continue to do that for her because she knows a taste of freedom from what she thought she deserved in life. And she will have the joy of knowing that she didn't teach her daughter to accept that kind of treatment, but to walk away with dignity. Now, is there a possibility that in the future the father could receive treatment, benefit from it, and be reunited as a family unit? Anything is possible. Do I support that idea? I don't know. It depends. I just affirm that everything is in divine order and the entire family learns how to nurture themselves and how to experience the best that life has to offer, whether it's together or apart. But the important thing is that that story moved me greatly because it just reminded me once again that no matter where we are in consciousness, we will experience the nurturing and the love and the confidence that we deserve one way or another. It's time to hear some wonderful music from Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans.
Here is a tune from 1927, music by George Gershwin. The original lyric was by Ira Gershwin, his brother. I adapted the lyric and tweaked it a little bit for Father's Day. So it's now entitled Happy Father's Day, Strike Up the Band. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy Father's Day, Happy Father's Day. What a blessed day, strike up the band. Happy Father's Day, Happy Father's Day, to the father who's best in the land. You're the dad who's always held me, the dad who has always helped me to live every day by the golden rule. Happy Father's Day, Happy Father's Day. The fireworks strike up the band. Happy Father's Day, Dan.
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. Happy Father's Day to my father, to all of our fathers, and happy Father's Day to anyone, male or female, who has ever mentored any young person, actually person of any age, and empowered them to go out and make their mark in the world, because we all deserve that. So thank you all, bless you all, and have a wonderful day. So, the next item on our agenda and the next cause for celebration is Juneteenth. Now, Matthew J. Evans, my son and wonderful musician, is going to pay a tribute to Juneteenth and talk to you about it and share a wonderful piece of music. But I want to add that it was only this week that Congress voted to make Juneteenth an annual holiday, celebrating the freedom from slavery that the African Americans endured for far too long. Happy Juneteenth, and next year we will be celebrating Juneteenth as a national holiday. Matthew, please go ahead and share your insights on Juneteenth.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I could say. I would say them loud, I would say them clear, for the whole wide world to hear. The holiday of Juneteenth marks June 19th, 1865, when Union troops arrived in Texas to announce the end of the Civil War and ensure the freedom of slaves. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation had legally freed all slaves in the South in 1862, the slaves in Texas didn't find out until 2.5 years later. I want to honor our brand new national holiday, Juneteenth, and Black Lives Matter with this song, I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free, by Billy Taylor. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. And I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that everyone there should be free. Like I'm longing to give. Oh, I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. And I wish wish I could do all the things that I can do. And though I'm way overdue, man, I'll be starting anew. And well, I wish that I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it could be if I found that I could fly. Well, I would soar into that sun and look down at the sea, and I would sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Yes, I know. Oh, yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I would sing, 'cause I know how it feels. Oh, how it feels, how it feels. Yes, I know, yes, I know. How it feels to be free.
Matthew, that was just wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your talents in such a powerful way. And thank you for honoring Juneteenth. Well, there is another surprise that I would like to celebrate with you today. You see, last week was Unity's annual conference, and it was held virtually. And Matthew and I did a workshop, which was an outstanding experience, and I'll share that with you another time. But something happened this week. Unity Worldwide Ministries established a statement, a resolution on diversity, equity, and inclusion. What makes this so important has to do with not only where we are in our world today, but where we have been in our past, we as human beings. So many times we define peace as neutrality. Being peaceful meant staying uninvolved, of embracing both sides, of blessing both sides, and of moving on and not addressing the challenges or taking a stand on what meant the most to us. But this week, something changed in the consciousness of all of us, and we came to understand that neutrality, or saying nothing, gives permission to inequities to continue to occur. And so this resolution on diversity, equity, and inclusion is extremely important, because Unity is saying no to racism and any form of persecution of any human being, any child of God on the face of the earth. And so I want to share a part of that with you now. Unity Worldwide Ministries stands for anti-racism. That is, we are opposed to racial hatred, racial violence, bias, systemic racism, and the oppression of people of color. We stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people who are marginalized because of color. No individual or group should be made to live in fear or excluded from society. Recent events in the United States and the world remind us that violent repression, prejudices, injustices, and inequalities toward people of color are embedded in societies, from social structures to institutions to cultures. Unity chooses to be more aware and take positive action in dismantling systemic racism and the social structures that support injustice and prejudice. And we raise awareness throughout our membership, churches, and centers. Whereas Unity stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people of color. Our second principle states human beings have a spark of divinity with them, the Christ spirit, the light within. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are also inherently good. This principle applies to all people, regardless of color. And whereas we are fully committed to Unity Worldwide Ministries being an ambassador for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our world and an example through our actions in the Unity movement. Whereas Unity Worldwide Ministries Board of Trustees acknowledges that there has been and is systemic racism in Unity. We acknowledge and accept responsibility for the impact that our history with racism has made upon our Black and brown friends, colleagues, congregants, students, employees, and patrons, both past and present. We commit to eradicating any and all systems, policies, and practices that would in any way replicate our past mistakes or reproduce an environment that discriminates against or is inhospitable toward people on the basis of race, color, or ethnicity. Now, the rest of the statement includes information about classes on diversity, hiring practices that recognize that diversity has been lacking, allocating money to support courses on racial diversity, and otherwise standing tall in support of human rights. This is so exciting because while in the past Unity has declared that we honor all people as expressions of spirit, there has been a type of fear and a reluctance to make a statement of anti-racism for fear of being political, for fear of alienating other Unity students who have different points of view. And that argument has been going on for a very long time, I am very blessed that Unity headquarters has allowed me and accompanied by Matthew to do workshops. Altogether in 2020, we did 4 weeks, one a 1-week workshop and the other a 3-session workshop on taking social action in the name of unity. And again, there has been so much fear of leaving people out. How many years have we said unity leaves no one out? And we don't want to. We want to honor the Spirit of God inherent, in all people. We want that very much. And yet, current times call for a different response. Current times in which everything is a political issue has clouded our perception and our courage to stand for a truth that we all know is truth for us, regardless of what other people might think or accuse us of. And so this week, this statement came out in honor of Juneteenth, and I just couldn't be more thrilled. I couldn't be happier. I feel so supported and acknowledged. And I feel that as a movement, we are supporting and acknowledging so many aspects of racism that we didn't know existed. And that is why, as white allies, I'm speaking now to white allies, we have to work extra hard in admitting that we were raised with implicit racism, that without even knowing it, We participate in systemic racism because we never knew that it was. We accepted white privilege as the way things are. And we didn't understand that some of the things that we said and did were very hurtful, were perpetuating this racism. So I ask you, just as I have asked myself and all those around me, let us be vigilant, white allies. Let us be vigilant. Let us admit that there has to be some implicit. Now, I just want to define that implicit as opposed to explicit. We are not explicitly racist. We wouldn't do that. Who would do that? We are trying very hard not to do it. But it's implicit because it is unconscious to us, and we have done some things without being aware of them. So instead of taking it personally, let's just say, as I have said, there is implicit racism within me. I can say something or do something without realizing that it might be hurtful to one of our brothers and sisters of color in this country and throughout the world. I'm capable of doing that. I don't want to do that. Therefore, I'm going to support the idea of being anti-racist. This is an exciting time. Now, of course, there are challenges that lie ahead for us, aren't there? There are challenges because we have taken a stand and will probably have criticism for people who think that unity doesn't include everyone. And so I'm willing to face that. I'm willing to embrace it. I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to do everything in my power to not insult or infuriate or exclude anyone who believes differently. But it won't stop us from taking a stand, as we have at Unity of San Luis Obispo for a long time. Now it's a worldwide movement that stands for anti-racism and stands for human rights. All I can say is I give thanks for answered prayer, and with excitement and with joy and with enthusiasm, I look forward to doing the work of unity, supported in every way by Unity Worldwide Ministries. Let's take a deep breath now and relax. Breathe in and gently let it go. Feel your muscles relaxing into this moment as you integrate the message of the lesson. God is, I am. God is, I am. I am, I can, I will. I am, I can, I will. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am prospered. I am prospered. I am prospered. I am loved. I am whole and free. I am loved. And so it is. Amen. It's time now in our service to bless the tithes and offerings that we would share with Unity of San Luis Obispo. We affirm that Unity of San Luis Obispo is a viable, healthy, strong ministry, and that we are mighty to receive our good and share our good with others. And so let us remember that as we give, so shall we receive. And by your giving, you support your own expanding consciousness and the ability to generate more of the prospering power of God in your life. Let's speak the words of this affirmation together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen.
Here's two songs I put together, both great films. To Kill a Mockingbird by Elmer Bernstein, and I put a little bit of A Patch of Blue by Jerry Goldsmith into this little medley. Starts with the music from To Kill a Mockingbird, Gregory Peck, best actor that year. 61, I believe it was. To Kill a Mockingbird, Elmer Bernstein, and A Patch of Blue, Jerry Goldsmith. Wonderful music. My pleasure to play it for you. Thank you over there. I appreciate that, Matthew.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you too. Speaking for everyone, we all appreciate you. What a beautiful, beautiful rendition of one of my favorite themes, To Kill a Mockingbird. Beautiful rendition. And I just want to add that I didn't comment on your Father's Day song, and I want to tell you now, it was beautiful. And so please know that what you do is so very much appreciated by myself and all of us. So, let's sing our peace song, shall we?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let's speak the words of our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Friends, press the like button. Give us your feedback. We enjoy hearing from you. And please remember to tune in to the Get Off Your Affirmation podcast. This week, we found something very, very special in our archives. It's an interview from 1997 that I did with Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul and various other chicken soup books. It was an incredible interview. He was amazing and insightful and very, very supportive of the ideas that we're looking to get help on today. So please tune in to the Get Off Your Affirmation podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and there will be 2 episodes. Jack Canfield episode 1 and next week episode 2. Believe me, you won't be sorry. And also, the sound quality is a lot better than it was in our Wayne Dyer interview from 2000. A lot of you expressed your appreciation for it, but I think this one will be easier to listen to. So, have a wonderful week. You deserve it.
Every single person living peace in what we do. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream